On behalf of the Bellevue Downtown Association, thank you for joining us for this State of the City presentation with Mayor Lynne Robinson and Deputy Mayor Malakoutian. And before we begin, I would like to remind ourselves that we are caretakers of this land, whether we are pulling weeds or building a 600-foot building tower. We are caretakers of this land, and we also acknowledge that we are on the indigenous land of the Coast Salish peoples who have treaty rights to the land, and we thank these caretakers of the land who have lived here and continue to live here since time immemorial. Today's event is a highlight of Bellevue Downtown Association's Downtown Talks Breakfast Series, where we hear from experts shaping the community where we live and work. And a special thanks to our event partners who make this series possible. You can see them on the screen right now. They are Amazon, Heritage Bank, Kaiser Permanente, and Sterling Realty Organization. Please join me in thanking them. The mayor in a moment will have an opportunity to recognize the other council members here in attendance. I would like to call out a handful of elected officials who are joining us. Port Commissioner Toshiko Hasegawa. State Representative from the 41st District, Tana Sen. And representing Congresswoman Del Benny's office, Savannah Steele. Thanks for joining us. So 50 years ago today, the John Dance Theater, let's see if we have a photo, the John Dance Theater, you can see here, was showing a movie, Walt Disney's Herbie Rides Again. Now, I don't know if you've seen Herbie Rides Again. It was the follow-up to The Love Bug. And it was June 1974, a time of developing vibrancy, and this happened to be the same year that the Bellevue Downtown Association was founded. In fact, today is not just another day in Bellevue. This was the very day, June 25th, 1974, that the Articles of Incorporation were stamped for the Bellevue Downtown Association. From humble beginnings with 12 members and a $25 membership fee, we've grown and changed and adapted right alongside our downtown and the city. And confession, I'm not sure if it was Herbie Rides Again that was the movie being shown. However, it had come out just 2 weeks prior, so I'm making an educated guess. I'll check with my friends at Sterling Realty Organization. Maybe they have a record of every movie shown at the John Dance Theater. I can only hope. So in the last 50, 30, 20 years, downtown has changed quite a bit. I know that since 1990, we just recently did a count. The BDA has programmed and presented some 2,500 hours of live music. That's the equivalent of 104 days straight of live music in downtown Bellevue. And then looking forward to the ice rink in December or November when it opens, we look forward to welcoming our 1 millionth skater since 1998. And so as we celebrate milestones, I want to thank everyone here, every member, every partner, supporter for your contribution in making this a thriving community that we are lucky to call home. The theme of this year's State of the City is Set for Success. You'll hear about how the city has been preparing itself over the years and finalizing big plans, investing in new projects, and responding to challenges with strategies and new approaches. Here's how it'll work. You're going to hear from the mayor with her remarks, and then you'll watch a video that has just recently been put together by the city staff, and then we'll sit down in a Q&A format, a fireside chat, if you will, with the mayor and deputy mayor. Mayor Robinson joined the city council in 2014 after serving on the city's Parks and Community Services Board. Her council colleagues elected her deputy mayor in 2018, and she has served as mayor since 2020, continuing through the challenges of the pandemic and beyond. And today, she will share insights on how Bellevue is set for success. Please help me welcome to the stage Bellevue Mayor Lynne Robinson.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is so fun to see you all here today, and it is truly an honor to be mayor of this city. I would like to recognize my colleagues in the room that are here today if they could stand up. I know I saw Council Member Zahn. Let's give her a hand. Deputy Mayor Malakoutian. One of our newest council members, Dave Hamilton. Councilmember John Stokes. That's all I'm seeing right now, but we also have council members Lee and Newenhouse. Let's give them a hand. So Bellevue continues to be a strong and vibrant community, and as you probably know, there is a lot happening behind the scenes to foster that. We are focusing on key strategies that will benefit our future and enhance the livability of our community. It takes dedicated and thoughtful planning to effectively deliver services that will make a difference in the lives of community members and to set us up for continued success. We do this through our council vision and priorities, which are grounded by community values, something we call strategic target areas. There are 6 strategic target areas identified for Bellevue. Within these areas, the city has a host of initiatives, actions, and council policy priorities that direct the work of our local government. These areas are a way to connect the actions we do as a city to the outcomes we want to see in the community. Achieving a thriving community requires a vibrant economy, high community safety and health, a safe and efficient transportation system, and a high-quality natural and built environment. A high-performing government will foster action and progress in these areas and stay true to the commitments that we make. Innovation and long-range planning are part of who we are in Bellevue, and recently those efforts have resulted in many exciting and important firsts in the city. We now have light rail on the Eastside, which in 2025, which in 2025 will connect to Seattle and Marymore Park. Bellevue was awarded federal funding to support the purchase of our first electric fire engine, being built now and coming into service in 2026. Thank you, Savannah. Our patrol, yes, definitely Del Bene. Our patrol officers are using the latest technology and body-worn cameras and tasers, and we have a dedicated light rail police team called the BLU unit. This year, we welcome 606 new businesses to our city. Despite shifts in the economy and our business landscape, new companies and industries are taking advantage of the benefits of Bellevue. We are excited to catalyze our Cross-Cultural Center Without Walls program and have selected and funded 18 local community organizations to put on 35 events and activities that are city-supported and community-led to promote cross-cultural experiences and understanding. And thanks to Councilmember Zahn's initiative and council support, our safe parking program is now serving local families working towards stable housing, and we have several low or no-cost housing options in Bellevue, including Porchlight Men's Shelter, Plymouth Permanent Supportive Housing, and Polaris Workforce Housing, which just opened this spring. We continue to improve our natural and built environment with important trail connections, new parks, and key water system plans. With many partners, we've made progress getting funding to close gaps in our regional trails like the Mountains of Sound Greenway and East Trail. We've identified the first projects for our Bike Bellevue effort. And our latest park just opened last month in Bridle Trails. Community safety and health is impacted by infrastructure such as our utilities. The city's first ever watershed management plan is now in development to ensure the sustainable health of our streams and lakes for both people and fish. And add this to our recently completed major utilities 75-year renewal and replacement plan, and we have a sustainable, future-focused, and high-quality water management system in Bellevue. A high-performance government advances the council vision, making long-term planning possible with the help of key partners. In order to support the people in our city, we must identify the needs in the community and create intentional, strategic action plans. Since 1989, the city has done a biannual Human Service Needs Update, a vital report that highlights the needs of the community and helps inform where to spend available funds and initiate projects and services that address these needs. The Human Services Commission has received nearly 2.5 times the request for human service funding than we have funds available for. This means that we need to be creative and use our public-private partnerships. Our strategic plan for human services prioritizes investments in human service infrastructure to address the biggest gaps and disparities experienced by our community members. The partnerships we have with agencies such as For Tomorrow, who are running our safe parking program, and King County, who's enabled us to create supportive and affordable housing, help us to continue to deliver needed services for community members experiencing difficult life challenges. We recently updated and more than doubled our 10-year goal for preserving or developing affordable housing to 5,700 units in the next decade, and our work with private, public, and nonprofit partners will be key to achieving these goals. The City of Bellevue has funded or incentivized 676 new affordable units since 2023. We plan to update our affordable housing strategy later this year to help us achieve these new goals. The Council has also initiated programs to reduce permit fees and expedite permitting for affordable housing projects, ensuring that we can create more opportunities for people to live comfortably and to thrive in our community. On the economic front, we are finding that as some businesses move out of local office spaces, this creates a unique opportunity for new employers to enter the market. In the last several months, we have welcomed new or expanded offices for Elevate Outdoor Collective, Chewy, UI, and TikTok. And I believe I read that TikTok just leased even more space recently. Good for them. Arts and entrepreneurship are expected to continue to be drivers in Bellevue for livability, placemaking, and business diversity. Our economic development plan has a specific focus on these key components of a thriving Bellevue business community where people want to be. The 5-year economic development plan will get a refresh later this year as we focus on continued diversification of our business landscape, development, and support of business districts, emphasis on arts and culture, and providing more support for small business, entrepreneurship, and higher education. We will continue to keep our finger on the pulse of how the market is evolving and develop strategies that are responsive while anticipating the areas of focus necessary to serve the community's future needs. Relationships, partnerships, data-driven action, and caring will continue to be the hallmarks of Bellevue's public safety, health, and emergency preparedness approaches. In exciting news that is reflective of our planning efforts, this year we broke ground for construction of Fire Station 10, the first new station in the city in the last 30 years, which will help decrease our response times downtown and in the surrounding areas. And I am happy to report that overall, crime in the city is down compared with last year. Let's give Chief Shirley a big round of applause. While we are seeing an increase in certain motor vehicle thefts, such as Kia and Hyundais, our police department is instituting focused, data-driven campaigns to address all crime and offer the community ways to protect themselves, such as steering wheel locks, which actually were very effective. In 2023, the Bellevue Police Department launched its largest recruiting effort ever. This effort was designed to increase diversity on the force and attract the next generation of Bellevue law enforcement officers. And as a result, the department has hired 33 commissioned officers last year, more than in any other single year in the 70-year history of the department. We are continuing to support our high-quality built natural environment to ensure Bellevue is attractive to residents, visitors, and businesses. Our work and partnerships are helping create more and more places where people want to be. Enhancing and building out the Grand Connection, a pedestrian corridor that brings people through downtown and connects them to key places like Maidenbower Bay, all the way to the transit center and eventually across 405 to Wilburton. We're now working with partners in our business community to design how the Grand Connection might cross the freeway. to the other side, and the BDA has been a long-term partner in activating spaces along this pathway throughout downtown. We are updating our tree codes to protect landmark trees and to align with our goals to retain and increase tree canopy across the city. Bellevue's tree canopy is a critical environmental asset and central to our vision of a city in the park. And last year, we unveiled a new signature art piece at the Northeast Gateway to Downtown Park along the Grand Connection. It is the largest freestanding art piece the city has ever commissioned. Thank you, Lori Pelotti. And actually, another thank you to Lori, because I heard she was actually out there with a torch doing this. We commissioned a local LGBTQ artist to design a signature art treatment across the entire intersection at the south entrance of the downtown park. And this artist shared her perspective of pride in the artwork, and we're so happy we could unveil it in time for the Pause in Pride walk on June 1st. With all the expected growth and business development on the horizon, we are making it easier to get around Bellevue. No matter what mode of transportation you choose, we know that our transportation system needs to grow and evolve as Bellevue changes, offering many options to move people around our city and the region. Let's thank Andrew Singalakis for all the work that he's done with transportation. We're excited that the light rail 2 line is finally open on the east side. Is Luke Lamont here this morning? All right, there he is. Let's give him a big hand. You and Claudia Balducci have been a constant feature in this fight for light rail, so it's really exciting to see it come to fruition. We're continuing our support for multi-purpose trails, including East Trail, which is a 42-mile trail that not only connects neighborhoods in Bellevue, but connects several communities on the east side. We helped King County break ground just a few weeks ago on the section of trail that will go over the historic Wilburton Trestle. And 2 days ago, we celebrated the opening of a fantastic trail bridge over Northeast 8th Street next to Wilburton Light Rail Station. If you have not had a chance to see that, it really is a beautiful experience, whether you're walking or riding your bike. Yesterday, I'm so excited about this, just heard that King County Parks will be receiving a $25 million federal raise gap to finally close the gap of East Trail over I-90. Thank you, Del Bene. And all our federal delegation. They all sponsored this and made this happen for our city. Bellevue continues to explore options to improve and enhance the city's multimodal network to ensure we have infrastructure that's safe and convenient and gives people plenty of choices to get around. The city council makes policy decisions in the city, but the staff are the engine that get the work accomplished. I want to give a big thank you to our city manager, Diane Carlson, for her leadership. I want to take a moment to thank the dedicated community service professionals who are constantly thinking about how the plans we make will benefit the future of this community. We really need that commitment on all levels to be able to follow through on the promise of a thriving future. And I see many of our nonprofit leaders in the room today. Thank you all for what you do for our city. Our city has done that for decades, and it's an ethos we continue to hold up as a core value as we plan for our future and continued success. Thank you for your part in ensuring that Bellevue remains a success story well into the future. And now we're going to have a video for you that shows my colleagues and I highlighting the strategic target areas at work in the community. Thank you so much.
We have a healthy and vibrant economy. Bellevue is a city where technology and innovation are valued and encouraged. We actively seek and welcome local and global businesses and give them the support they need.
We are all about fostering thriving people and communities. Bellevue is a caring community where we all can feel like we belong and enjoy a high quality of life.
We provide a safe and efficient transportation system that is sustainable, reliable, and predictable. Bellevue offers clean, safe, and abundant options for your travel needs.
We support community safety and health. All people in Bellevue should feel safe, valued, and welcome. Our systems, essential services, and infrastructure is resilient and secure.
We value a high-quality built and natural environment. Bellevue is a world-class city with great places to live, work, play, and learn.
We are committed to operating and maintaining a high-performance government.
Bellevue's well-managed government is foundational to the success of the Council's vision and our city services.
Okay, we're ready to begin our Q&A fireside chat portion of the event. Welcome to the stage, Mayor, again. Welcome to the stage, Deputy Mayor. Okay, so one of the things that, again, is just a privilege in this role, and I think many might agree that so much can be done in local government. And as a membership organization that's been around since 50 years, I look back and see how that healthy tension between the private sector and our local government has been something that has supported one another and has been a big part of creating the community where we are. So one thing I love about the city of Bellevue and doing this work in downtown is the impact we can have on our local community. So the first question out of the gate for the mayor and deputy mayor, and I think we're starting with you, Deputy Mayor, is what do you love about Bellevue?
Thank you so much. Before I start, can we all give a round of applause to the mayor with this amazing introduction that she gave us? So I love to be part of the Youth Link. Mayor appointed me to that. So firsthand, I witness our youth impact and involvement in the city. I have had many students in my classes that they came from Bellevue College. They come, then they finish their degree in engineering at UW, and now they have a job in Bellevue and they start their family in Bellevue. My parents live here, both 75 plus. They use Bellevue's amenities. They walk in Bellevue parks. They go to Bellevue College to learn English. They have used Bellevue Library to prep for U.S. citizenship. And they go to YMCA Bellevue for jeans. So truly, Bellevue has something for everyone. I don't know you guys realize from my accent, but I am from a different country. Came to this country and I felt I belong. I felt that I have the same opportunity as everyone else. So that's the piece that I love the most about Bellevue, Patrick.
Thank you. Mayor, what do you love most about Bellevue?
That was such a nice answer. I just personally, I love our downtown park. I live right by it, and multiple times a day I take my little dog and we go for a walk. And there's so many interesting people at that park. People come from all over the region to visit that park because they want to. And then so many people who live downtown are there. And I really feel like I make a friend every day that I go out there. And sometimes I just sit there for an hour and just talk to people as they walk by.
Mayor, can you share about your dog and your dog experience there?
Okay. My dog doesn't like dogs. So that's a little awkward. Thank you. And I just apologize in advance if you have a dog and you see my dog, but it's little. It doesn't do any harm, but it's just a pill. But anyway, other than that, I just love downtown, and I think that's an amazing community asset.
Okay, Mayor, the first question goes to you. This is a city that has been constantly changing, and the city's had to adapt and create strategies to address that change. So how is it that the city of Bellevue gets big things done through these inevitable cycles of change?
I think this is something that Bellevue does particularly well. We really do stick to the plan, and I credit a lot of that with just our form of government, our city manager, council form of government. Every 2 years, we go to a retreat and we sit down and we look at those strategic target areas, we reassess, we tweak them, and then we do long-range vision of what do we want to see Bellevue looking like in 10 years, in 20 years, 30, 40 years? What is our vision for the city? And we create long-term plans. And the city manager is really the keeper of the plans. We are so lucky to have Brad Miyake for so many years, and now we're so lucky to have Diane Carlson as interim. It's really incredible to have the people who keep the plans going despite all the cycles that the city and the region go through. And so in other cities around us that have strong mayor systems, you will see that oftentimes every time there's a new mayor, and that's usually like every 4 years, they completely change their long-range plans. So think of streetcars as an example of that. But and I think a really good example of that, again, is the downtown park. That took us 40 years to complete. We only just completed it last year with the installation of Pelote. And you think about in the 80s, the long-term vision that council had to carve out this section of downtown and say, we're going to make this a park for the people. And this is a time when our downtown had single-family homes in it still. And so here today, it's one of our best amenities, and there's no way we could put that park in downtown today. So I think our vision process is pretty good in Bellevue.
Thank you, Mayor. Sticking with the theme of long-range planning, Deputy Mayor, the city is walking through and nearing the completion of the comprehensive planning process, which is a big update for the city's longest-term planning policies. So for the comprehensive plan, a lot riding on that. What does it mean for the city to update the comprehensive plan?
Thank you for the question. For those who are not familiar, the comprehensive plan is a critical roadmap that addresses Bellevue's needs and envision our city 20 years in future. So it's very, very important, and I'm going to give you some key aspects. But before, I just wanted to acknowledge amazing work that the city staff has done. We have a planning commission and other commission who has been working on this. They did a fantastic job. And finally, our community and partners. We have received 7,000 unique input from our community and partners on comprehensive plan. And that shows that what an amazing community that they are engaged in how their city should look like in future, but also what an amazing city that enable this community to participate and engage. Well, let's just talk about some numbers. Our target growth is 35,000 new housing units and 70,000 jobs. And for having this growth, we need to use data, community input to prep for. And for sure, start with housing. This comprehensive plan addresses housing and increase the density of the city significantly. Not only we are increasing the supply of housing, but we are emphasizing in affordable housing, aging in place, and home ownership. It's not just about housing, that's one component. We should plan for adequate infrastructure, transportation, environment preservation and protection, parks, cultural amenities. So we are planning for all of those. The highlight to me of all of this plan would be the redevelopment of Wilburton transit-oriented neighborhood. As Mayor mentioned in her openings, this Wilburton area is close to multi-purpose trail of Eastside that connect north to south of Bellevue. It is close to future Grand Connection, another multi-purpose trail that connect east to west of the Bellevue. It is close to 2 light trails. So we are creating in Wilburton a sustainable district that is equitable, it's accessible to all of the services and amenities that we need in 15-minute city concept. You can walk in 15 minutes to any place that you want to work, live, and thrive. So I'm very excited about comprehensive plan. It ensures that the Bellevue remain vibrant and welcome everyone.
The economy continues to be a big topic for all of us in this room and for the city council and city staff too, and it's highlighted as a strategic target area. Mayor, what is important to you in the city council when it comes to a thriving economy? What trends are you seeing?
Yeah, thriving economy is an amazing thing. Even more so is a stable, thriving economy. And in the 10 years, 11 years that I've been on the council, our economy, despite all the things that we've been through in the last 11 years, has been quite stable and is compared nationally and compared to the rest of the region. So the trends we're seeing is, we have absorbed tremendous amount of growth. I don't know if you've noticed in the last 10 years, but we've done it well because we planned for it. And so we see continued interest in our office space. Already this year, we've leased 40,000 square feet of office space. Excuse me. We have 6 million square feet of construction going on in Bellevue throughout the city right now, which is just amazing. We continue to welcome new businesses to Bellevue, as you saw in the slideshow, but we also have T&T coming into Factoria this summer, which I'm really excited about. It's a very popular, large Asian supermarket that has restaurants. It's kind of like an Eataly, if you've ever been there. And that's coming in the summer. And, just this week, I was part of a delegation that called Select USA, and Jesse Canedo was a big part in this, welcoming 29 different businesses from 11 countries around the world. And all these businesses had been vetted as being very interested in finding space to lease. And it was just so, I was so proud of our city. It was like the first really good weather day that we had. Amazon was very generous in sponsoring that in their space. And so that was a success. And in the same week, I celebrated Larry's Barbershop in Belle East on their 60th year in business in Bellevue, 3 generations of barbers in that family. So, we have a very stable economy. And I think that as long as we continue to be a place where people want to be, businesses will continue to invest.
Thank you. And part of our economy certainly relies on our workforce, and we tout our highly talented workforce that fills jobs in the city of Bellevue and in downtown. Deputy Mayor, we have a lot of advantages, but there's a ways to go in how we prepare opportunities for our workforce so that they can gain skills and move forward and find new opportunities. What are we seeing in this area, and how does the city engage in this work?
Thank you, Patrick. Due to AI, generative AI, hopefully you all know about that, and other advancements, our workforce needs is changing so rapidly. And our city can do a lot of work with our partners, of course, educational partner, business leadership, to provide knowledge, skills, and abilities that our individuals need to have higher paying job. If you have a higher paying job, you can find a house, you can have a great life in Bellevue. But that piece I think we need to work on is closing the gap in our talent. We have a lot of great individuals in our city. We know all of our businesses, what roles they want, and we need to influence our educational partners like Bellevue College, University of Washington, to fast adopt to this new workforce environment and train this individual for these jobs. We have done a survey and we know our three main sectors, technology, life science, and advanced manufacturing, that we are importing talents from other cities and other countries. And there is a room to invest in our homegrown talent and prep them for these jobs. One thing that city can influence is advocating for having a 4 years research university in Bellevue. We are getting very close, and we know for having a innovative, driven economy, we need to have a presence of a 4 years research university. One example that I can give you that city has done a great job in this in workforce space is partnering with Bellevue College and Mentors in Tech. We are now providing mentorship, networking, and internship opportunities for individuals who are getting their computer science degree at Bellevue College. And the stats the impact through the stats is really amazing. 21% of this population that we are supporting through this program are the first generation who are attending college. 8% of this population have experienced poverty in their past. 33% identify as a neurodiverse students, and 17% are part of the LGBTQ community. And 80% of this population find job in less than 6 months, and we are talking about 100K plus job. So the impact and how city can do and help, we have a diverse workforce, is possible, and we should do more in that space.
Thank you. Shifting to transportation, this question's for the mayor. And it was, we saw an astounding 17,000 plus people turn out for the opening of the 2 line back in April. And I know there were a lot of people there. We handed out 500 Friends of the Grand Connection tote bags in, I think, less than 30 minutes. So they were flowing. And we look forward to more good news on the light rail front in the coming year or so. So it seems that people will continue to be hungry for more ways to get around our city and to connect in our region. So how is the city responding to that hunger to get around more efficiently?
I thought that opening was so exciting. I don't know how many of you were there, but that was an awesome moment for Bellevue. We waited so long for that. And I really want to thank Councilmember Stokes, Councilmember Lee, and former Councilmember Wallace, Kevin over there, for all their work on bringing light rail to Bellevue. And I really do like the alignment. I know you guys suffered over that. So thank you for all your great work. But, you know, there is a real appetite for a viable transportation option that you can walk to, you can bike to, you can drive to, you can take bellhop to, and get around Bellevue on light rail in a much easier way. I don't know if you've taken it yet, but I take it a lot, and it's beautiful, it's fun. And in the heat of traffic in Bellevue around 5 o'clock, I can get from the Redmond Technology Center to South Bellevue Park and Ride in about 15 minutes, as opposed to 40 minutes it would take me to drive. That's just remarkable. And I cannot wait for when it extends across to Seattle and all the way to Marymore Park. And at the same time that we've been working on light rail, we have been really putting our efforts and investing into our transit-oriented communities around our light rail modes. So we're going to have a variety of housing types, a variety of housing prices. We have ped bike routes. There's this amazing interconnectivity that's coming to Bellevue, where the light rail will connect to the East Trail, and it will connect to the Grand Connection, and it will connect ultimately to the Mountains of Sound Greenway. And just being able to provide that opportunity for people to live and get around Bellevue without a car is a great asset, I think, to our city. Providing safe, reliable, and fun transportation options is a real priority for the city. And if you doubt the value of that, you should know that there is not a single large employer that hasn't settled in Bellevue that didn't ask us first, what are the options for transportation for my employees?
Thank you. Deputy Mayor, public safety is so important to a thriving city and can be among the toughest challenges. And for 50 years plus, we have collectively invited growth. We have invited more people to our community for good reasons. And Bellevue has long prided itself on community policing principles and data-informed management. So what are some tools in the toolkit that the city has to address public safety, specifically with Bellevue Police and Fire?
Thank you. Public safety is a top priority for Bellevue residents, and we have a great reputation due to the hard work of our police and fire department. So if you can give them another round of applause, because our chief is sitting over there. And Patrick, you mentioned data, and I think everything starts with that. We are a very data-driven police and fire departments. Not only this data help us to track ourselves and report and be transparent to our residents, and great news, as Mayor mentioned, is exactly 2.5% decrease in crime year over year. As an engineer, I need to give you the exact number. So let's celebrate that. Is a great news. But also, this data help us to deploy, emphasize patrols, focus on key enforcement, and having targeting education program. As Mayor mentioned on the Kia cars, that we said, okay, Kia has been stolen, let's just give away a steering wheels, and then we manage that crime. Investing in technology is very big for our city. We now have Spider Tech, is a messaging platform. At the moment you call 911 or you are a victim of crime, we start texting you and giving you an update about your case. Since start of this initiative in March, we have sent plus 40,000 messages. And there's a survey at the end that how satisfied are you with your officer? We have an amazing number, 4.75 out of 5 is how they ranked us. So that's great. I have a great update on our CCAT program. CCAT program, our Community Crisis Assistant team, was a pilot. Because of the great success that they had, we now have that as an ongoing program. It is the program that we send non-uniformed police officer plus a mental health professional to calls, and by de-escalating, we are diverting people's life. We have had 200 great stories that we change people trajectory, not going in jail, and be just addressing a much more easy case to address. One example I wanted to share with you is there was a young person holding a knife, threatening to harm themselves. The CCAT got to the scene. The police officer started talking to this young person due to the knife. It was scary to send the mental health professional, but the mental health professional was talking to the family, mom and dad, and feeding information to these officers. After hours, near 2 hours of conversation, this non-uniformed police officer gained the trust of this young person. The young person put the knives down and interestingly insists to get the ride from this police officer to the hospital, children's hospital, and they get the help that they need there. So these are the amazing stories that we are hearing, and that's how we are encouraging to continue funding this amazing program. The last thing I wanted to mention is we have a women self-defense classes. Our police department does that. We graduated 2,000 women. My advice is do not mess with any woman, but especially those women who graduated from the self-defense program. These are, please clap hands. And these are just some of the initiatives that we are doing, Patrick, to make Bellevue remain a safe and welcoming place for everyone.
Yeah, thank you for that. And so, yes, don't mess with women in Bellevue or Mayor Robinson's dog. All know that. Just approach with caution. Okay, so seriously, costs continue to rise for basic services, for a movie ticket. I don't know what the cost of a movie ticket at the John Dance Theater was at 1974. That's more data I'd like to get from the SRO team, but it's definitely more expensive today. And housing especially has continued to rise. So Mayor Robinson, how can local governments, and in this case the city of Bellevue, address these challenges of rising costs to ensure that Bellevue continues to be an accessible and affordable place for people?
That's such a good question. And I mean, just to give perspective on these rising costs, in the last 40 years, cost of living has risen about 300%, cost of housing has risen about 600%, and average wages have raised about 28%. So that doesn't pencil out, as Kevin would say. And, that's really tough for people to continue to live in cities like Bellevue, where it is so expensive to live, and the housing. So government comes in, and I think, I see important roles reducing the cost of living in Bellevue as much as we can, creating affordable housing as much as we can, and then, as the deputy mayor talked about, creating that workforce pipeline so that people who live here can get these high-paying jobs. I just want to talk a little bit about our affordable housing work. Well, first, let me talk about community health. It's kind of an underappreciated value that the city of Bellevue has. That is, a clean, safe environment, access to public schools, access to parks and green spaces. People don't appreciate the long-term health impacts and costs of living in an unsafe, unclean environment. And just think about Flint, Michigan. So we have incredible utilities here, and we really should appreciate them. We've done a tremendous amount of work in affordable housing. I want to commend Councilmember Stokes for being the mayor when we brought in our first affordable housing strategy. And since 2020, we've been implementing those programs, their incentives, their land use codes. We make it easier to build affordable housing. We've reduced parking requirements. We're allowing housing on church properties, all sorts of things. And just since 2020, we've doubled our affordable housing stock, which I really appreciate doing. We have a lot more work to do. And I would be remiss not to call out our large employers, Microsoft and Amazon. They both created affordable housing funds that allowed borrowing at low interest rates for creating affordable housing, as well as grants. And we have been able to retain original housing in Bellevue and create new housing in a way we could not have done without that partnership. So let's give them a big hand. And our partnerships with all our nonprofits that help us build this housing, with Arch, Lehigh. We just retained a 66-unit apartment building that will be permanently affordable on 112th Street. I mean, the beauty about Bellevue is we don't do this on the fringes of our neighborhoods. We do this right in the heart of our downtown and in our neighborhoods and all throughout Bellevue. And I bet you don't even know which units are affordable. And that's what we're trying for, is to create that opportunity. So I think, government really does have a role in those things, and Bellevue's working hard at it.
Thank you. I received the 5-minute high sign, so we will work expeditiously through the next set of questions. We just have a few left. And Deputy Mayor, The lingering effects of the economy and the recession continue to cause strain, especially in human services. So what are some of the highlights and steps of progress that the city is seeing?
I can talk 5 hours about this. So the first thing we did in the human services area is we updated our strategic plan, or we created a new one. Before we were giving a thin spread funding for all of the needs, but because of our COVID relief program and funding ends and our demands has increased, we now should be very strategized and optimize our budget. I just wanted to share some of the findings that we found this year. 20% of sixth grader in Washington contemplated suicide. 20% of Bellevue school children experiencing food insecurity in Bellevue. Last year, 663 Bellevue school students faced housing instability. More than 50% of the folks that ask for help in Bellevue, we cannot help them due to availability, language, or cultural barriers. And 30,000 people who live in Bellevue pay more than 50% of their income on housing. And I'm sharing this to not ruin your morning and ruin your breakfast that we just had. I'm sharing this to say that we all need your help. The city cannot just address that. And the next time you go to a nonprofit event, that we have many of them in that table, please donate significantly, because those are the partners that they are trying to help us to navigate this. But on the good news, we expanded our mini city hall. Mini city hall is in Crossroad. We address 20,000 people per year with 40,000 plus requests. We now expand the space, but also we expand our partnership. Now we can provide digital literacy. We can provide immigration and healthcare assistance, housing assistance, and job counseling, and much more. We have the housing in our East Gates. We have 100 bed men's shelter. We have 96 transition supportive housing that is helping people who are exiting homelessness. And we have 360 workforce housing that already 140 of them has been referred through Bellevue School District for family and students who need housing. As Mayor mentioned, and thanks to Councilmember Zahn for in part for her support, we have now a safe parking program. Since it starts, we have addressed 15 families' needs, including 30 students. They now have access to laundry, electricity, stuff that you and I don't care, don't think about it. But now they have those access, study room, kitchen. So now the students can stay in the school while parents with the operator of this safe parking try to find job and housing. So we have a lot to do. We need all of your helps and all of our partner helps, but we are stepping in a right direction.
So on just continuing that thread around partnerships, Mayor, and you mentioned a few of them earlier, they play a big role in setting Bellevue up for success and have over the last 50 plus years. So what are some highlights, top of your mind, around partnerships and how that helps the city move forward?
I'm actually going to keep my notes here so I don't ramble, because I know that we want to get this done. I think partnerships are huge in Bellevue. I mean, you think about all the amenities, all the things you love in Bellevue that are free. That wouldn't happen without the partnerships that we have going on. We'd have to raise taxes to pay all that. So you think about the Snowflake Lane, Family 4th of July, Thank You Bellevue Collection. You think about the ice rink in downtown, BDA, and always a corporate sponsor. Who is it this year? Do you know?
Symetra.
Oh, Symetra. Okay, cool. You think about the Pause and Pride, Symetra again, and BDA. So many of the things that we love in Bellevue are because of sponsors that we have. The BDA is an amazing sponsor. The way that you've activated the downtown, you've attracted visitors that serve our come into our businesses and come to Downtown Park and really bring in quite a bit of revenue and make the Bellevue downtown experience even better than it is. Brad Jones with Visit Bellevue. I mean, you've done an amazing job increasing our overnight visitors, and our downtown and Eastgate locations are the top 1 and 3 hotel markets on the east side. The chamber, the many chambers that we have in Bellevue, all these community partners make life better for our businesses and for the people who live here. I'm going to do a big shout out to Amazon. They have been a tremendous community partner in the last few years that they've been here. They have injected millions of dollars into our community, whether it's with the design of the Grand Connection, whether it's into our human services, their housing equity fund, or all the little things that you don't even know. If you're in an event and there's food, chances are Amazon paid for it. So I want to give them a big hand right now. But I also want to thank everybody in the room today. I look around the room and I see all these people that I know, and all of you are community partners. All of you are making Bellevue a better place for the people who live, work, and visit here, and I want to thank you for that. And I also want to note Councilmember Neuenhouse had an initiative this year called Keep Bellevue Beautiful, and it's a program where employees, residents, anybody who wants to sign up and pick up trash, it's a fun way to do it. And, it's kind of habit forming because you do that enough times and then you want to get your own little trash picker-upper and go out once a week and just grab the cups that you see around, because no one entity can do everything around here. It takes community partnerships.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor, as we look forward, the city has had a pretty bold approach to its diversity advantage plan. And that has been one of the joys in this work, is to see how much our community has changed, grown, and diversified as a community. So what's next for the city on the Diversity Advantage Plan?
Thank you. It is actually a very exciting year for diversity, equity, belonging, and inclusion in City of Bellevue. Look who they put in this seat with this thick accent. We are working our Diversity Advantage Plan 2 after 10 years of success, because our demographic has changed. Now we are going to include more new initiatives and strategies to build more equitable community.
Thank you, Dr. Whitehead.
Let's just give a round of applause to that table. Cross-Cultural Center Without Walls, as Mayor mentioned, has now great momentum. We finalized our community-based organizer are going to have cross-cultural event and programming for us. That's very exciting. We have had and we are going to have lots of great art events from our regional and local artists across the whole town. In city halls, if you're stopping by, you will see some event is going on. We had a great performance for Juneteenth. As we saw in the video, we had the first city commission art to celebrate LGBT community in the south of Downtown Park. And these are just several initiatives that I'm mentioning to show how we want to be that diverse and inclusive city for everyone, Patrick.
Thank you. And we're going to stay with you on this last question, Deputy Mayor, and then we'll give the mayor the last word. So the last question is, all that's been presented, looking forward, what are you most excited about for the city of Bellevue?
Thank you. As some of you may know, Councilmember Hamilton and I, we are new to this thing. 6 months in. Can we clap hand for Dave Hamilton sitting there so quietly? And before I joined, we are living in a very polarized country or world right now. And Mayor mentioned a lot of stuff about collaboration with Amazon, with Microsoft, with our nonprofit partners. And I think why City of Bellevue is successful is because there is a trust between council members. There's a trust between council member and the staff and the city manager and all of the leadership in the city. There's a trust between city staff and council members to our community and partners. And this trust is very unique. And I think that's why we are successful. I want everyone knows our community, all of our partners, that at any time they can come to talk to any of us, share their opinion or concern. They should trust that we listen to them and we consider that concern or that input in our decision making. And I hope we can even build more on this trust and more on this collaboration, and that help us to be a more successful city.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And Mayor Robinson, last word. What are you excited about?
That was such a thoughtful answer. I was going to talk about my dog, and now I feel like I have to up my game. Here's what I'm excited about. I'm really excited about the next 5 years. All the projects that we've been working on coming to fruition and that interconnectivity. You know, I live downtown. I love to live without a car. And just the ability to have the East Trail completed and the Grand Connection Bridge across I-405 and all this interconnectivity between light rail and the ped bike lanes. I mean, I don't know if you ever get out there on the weekend and ride your bike around. It's incredible, and it's going to be even better. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm also very excited about our burgeoning arts district. This is in Bel Red, and we have a lot of partners in the room today. And that is a very interesting, exciting, and a blossoming program that I think is going to be a tremendous asset for the city of Bellevue.
Mayor Robinson, Deputy Mayor Malakoutian, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're almost done. I just want to say a special thanks to everyone here in this room for your leadership and commitment to this city. Thank you to the BDA board, the exemplary BDA team. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you to our event partners for this Downtown Talk series, Amazon, Heritage Bank, Kaiser Permanente, and Sterling Realty Organization. And let's make it another 50 great years together. Thank you very much. Have a great day.